Wonderful drinks. What's up? How you doing today, man? You see, you're a lovely soul. And I know that because you have clicked this video. You must be definitely one good vibes guy. Lots of love and respect for that. You see, and because of being a good vibes guy, I believe that together we can spread this message of love, peace, forgiveness, honesty, unity, and good vibes to all adults across the whole world. So wonderful soul, react together with me these videos and leave your comments there without forgetting to hit the like button and watching till the end. Straight out of Africa, I'm your good vibes host, Y311H man, with lots of good vibes and rap. Let's dive in. Good vibes, hold your
Sun is local. It only sets due to our perspective of its setting. The sun never truly sets. It moves across a flat plane, only setting to the human vision. If it was truly 93 million miles away, how could something so big become so small when setting? It is all an illusion. How is it that the sun can be underneath the clouds when it is meant to be 93 million miles away? It's impossible for the sun and the moon to be out at the same time. The stars have never changed ever since the day of creation. The stars are light which influence our body, mind and consciousness. NASA are using fisheye lenses. When we go up to the same height, we never see the same curvature. They are hiding the true cosmology. They are hiding the divine creation that we are in.
Ha! Hey, leave your thoughts on that, man.
Quick thought. You ever wonder why you afraid of bees or why we grew up afraid of wasps and bees, right? Bees, man, vibrate at such a high vibrational frequency, right? They don't even fly. They vibrate. Bees are not bothered by you. They are born and they only live for life, probably 40 something days before they die. They would visit, they'll go around probably visiting 1,000 or so flowers just to gather a teaspoon of honey to die. That's how vibrational they are. They are so in tune with their life, man, that they don't even notice you. So the fear that we generate, which is a low vibrational energy, makes them attack you. So stop being afraid of bees. That's gonna be my next tattoo. That's why I'm talking about this. I'm gonna get a big bee somewhere, but I love bees.
Oh, yo, man, that's new information there. Good
This video
vibes.
is proof that what you're seeing is influenced by demons. You have to watch to the end to get the full context.
What are your pronouns?
He, they.
He, they. And they means
They.
So could you give me like a little bit of a description of because I don't understand what that means.
There's he, she, and there's they. I'm they.
And so you're them?
Yep.
And so are you multiple people?
Yep.
Really?
Yes.
Could you explain that to me?
No. Too much work. But I am a legion. I am legion. I am many. I am the one who is many. All right, y'all. Happy Friday.
He's the...
When Jesus cast a demon out of a man into the pigs, the demon said that his name was Legion. Coincidence? If you believe that Jesus is Lord, subscribe for more content like this.
Cylinder Seal VA-243 is an artifact that has ignited the imaginations of historians and enthusiasts alike. Originating from the ancient Sumerian civilization, this seal is particularly notable for its intricate depiction, which some interpret as an astronomical map. At the heart of the seal's imagery is what appears to be the sun, surrounded by 11 orbs. Traditional scholarship would suggest these orbs represent stars or celestial gods in the Sumerian pantheon. However, a more speculative interpretation proposes that these orbs are in fact planets of our solar system, including those invisible to the naked eye without modern telescopes. This raises the intriguing possibility that the Sumerians possessed an advanced understanding of astronomy, far beyond what was previously believed. The inclusion of an extra, unaccounted for orb in the depiction has led to the hypothesis that the Sumerians were aware of an additional planet in our solar system, a planet from which the Anunnaki, beings of profound impact in Sumerian lore, are said to have originated. This planet, referred to as Nibiru, is theorized to have an elongated orbit, bringing it into proximity with Earth only at vast intervals, coinciding with significant periods in human history. The portrayal of the solar system on the cylinder seal appears to be not merely symbolic, but a factual account, indicative of a direct transfer of knowledge from the Anunnaki. This advanced civilization is proposed to have shared their astronomical knowledge with the Sumerians, encapsulating this wisdom in artifacts such as this seal. The seal is part of the collection at the Vorderasiatisches Museum in Berlin, Germany. The museum is renowned for its extensive collection of artifacts from the ancient Near East, including a wide range of items from Sumerian, Babylonian, Assyrian, and other Mesopotamian cultures. However, the specific archaeological context, such as the exact excavation site or the circumstances under which it was discovered and acquired by the museum, is not well documented in public records. This lack of detailed provenance is not unusual for many ancient artifacts, especially those collected during the early days of Near Eastern archaeology, when record-keeping standards were different from today's rigorous archaeological methodologies.
Hey, did you know that good people of Earth, eh? Please leave your thoughts on that, man. Good vibes out there. Thank you very much for clicking, man. And you watched till the end. You see? More interesting videos coming. Hey. And hit the like button kindly.
Right here where this valley comes out, there's a natural waterway. It's a dry riverbed. That is called a wadi, W-A-D-I. If you went into that wadi, you would find there are rocks all over the place, but they've all been pushed out of the way to make a path. Somebody pushed all the rocks out of the way to make a path for wagons, apparently. That dry riverbed, the wadi, ends up at that white dot, which you can barely see from this satellite map. That white dot is actually this giant beach. Off to the right, you can see where that wadi comes into it, that dry riverbed. And at the bottom of that beach, way down there, which would be the south end, at the south end, Ron Wyatt found this pillar. It had fallen down, half in the water. He and his sons dragged it out, scrubbed it off. A lot of it was eroded, but part of it was still readable. And it basically said something to the effect of, this pillar was erected by King Solomon to commemorate the crossing of the Red Sea. The Gulf of Aqaba is incredibly deep water. South of there is the Aragonese Deep, which again is nearly 5,000 feet deep. Right where that arrow is, there's a shallow place. It's only 900 feet deep, which is still pretty deep. But 900 foot in 8 or 9 miles is a nice gentle slope down and a nice gentle slope up. Easy for wagons. There's an underwater land bridge right there. He says they walked across on dry ground, 900-foot wall of water on both sides. He went out to as deep as they could go, 100 feet or whatever, 150 feet with the scuba equipment, and found all along, as far as they could go, chariot wheels with no chariots attached to them. And chariot bodies crumbling badly, poorly conditioned, with no wheels on them. They found horse skeletons and human skeletons crusted over with coral. The chariot wheels, you can see one here in this picture, it's kind of hard to see, but it's gold-plated wood, but the wood has rotted out. There's only one Egyptian dynasty that used 4-spoke, 6-spoke, and 8-spoke, all 3 types used in this one dynasty. And all 3 are found down there, or something like that. If you look at the far right, this arrow is pointing to a mountain in Saudi Arabia.
Oh man, hey, is that proof of the
next
Bible?
task in our moon myth busting is this photo here. What conspiracy theorists say is that he's too well lit. You can see him clearly, yet he's in this black shadow of the LEM. There's only one light source on the moon. That's the sun. Conspiracy theorists claim there must be a second one making him visible, and we're going to find out.
And to do just that, the guys are going to shine a substitute sun on the very model of a modern miniature landing module. Oh, and a surprisingly talkative toy astronaut. And courtesy of what's known in the editing biz as a few jump cuts, here it is.
Conspiracy theorists are saying that the shot had to have been faked using a fill light. Personally, I think it's because the moon's surface is reflective. And when you think about it, you look at the moon on a clear night, it's obviously reflecting light back at you. That's why you see it. The question here is it enough to create this shot?
To test Jamie's hypothesis that the mythical fill-in light is simply sunlight bouncing back off the moon's surface, the guys black out the set.
Behold our moon landing set. Because it's all about reflectivity, we put blacks all around the shot, covered the whole set to eliminate any spill, any reflected light that's not coming directly from our moon's surface.
That's the landing module, astronaut, lights, and camera sorted.
Dude, this looks so cool.
The only missing component is a moon dust analog that accurately reflects the reflective quality of the real stuff.
The dust that covers the moon is called regolith. When the sunlight shines upon the moon, regolith reflects a certain amount of sunlight back towards Earth. That reflective quality is called its albedo. Now, the albedo of moon dust is between 7 and 10%, according to our sources at NASA.
To make our version of regolith, we used Portland cement and charcoal powder. Now, to measure the albedo, or reflected light coming off of it, we used a light meter and our fake sun.
8%, dude, that is perfect. What we just showed with this test is that our sample regolith has a reflective index of about 8%, which makes it ideal for us to test with.
The mock-up moon's ready for its close-up, so it's probably time to up the jeopardy. Cue our resident drama king.
All right, you ready?
I'm set.
All right, here we go. Taking the photo. Let's see. There it is.
Oh, there you go. He's standing full on in the shadow, and you'd think you wouldn't be able to see him. He'd be dark, but he's not. He's in brightest day.
The myth here is that you would not be able to see this astronaut this clearly unless there was a secondary fill light illuminating him. Because he's in the shadow and there's only one light source on the moon, he would, by definition, be black. Our photo here proves just the opposite. That with a single light source, with the surface of the same reflectivity as the moon, our astronaut is clearly visible, busting that myth.
Huh. Now what do you think about that, eh?
Check this out. This is a super strong magnet. It's copper bar. So when it comes close and swings by, there's a force field that's created that stops it. Now if I wave it along here, you can see how there's almost like a syrup. Even though the magnet is not touching the surface, there's almost like a syrup there. I'll do that one more time. Now, if I swing it up above, you see no effect. But as I let it go from here, you can see how it almost goes in slow motion. See that? Isn't that cool? So it's not touching, see that? You can see how the copper is not touching the magnet, but it's like it's stuck in like an electromagnetic syrup at the surface of the ingot with the magnet. This is what's weird. Look at that. So it's like a tractor beam with the magnet, but it doesn't actually attract it like, say, for example, that washer. See how just that washer automatically attaches to the magnet, but you can see how I'm controlling the movement of that magnet. That is a real trip. Okay, so now I've changed the position of the copper bar, and I'll swing the broad face of the magnet, and watch, it'll just stop. See that? It just stops, won't hit it. Now if I take the magnet off and just let the socket swing, you can see how it'll hit it. See that? I swing the magnet into the surface. There's still that force field there and it stops. Totally rad.
So, these magnetism experiments are very interesting.
This video got 27 million views, and it shows what many people believe are duendes, a mythological creature that exists in South America that are said to be only a foot tall and go in hiding in little caves. However, the last clip just showed a tribe in South America, one of those that don't ever meet other humans ever. They were just some small children. They weren't actual duendes. Now, this is what they supposedly look like. However, this clip just has an actor. But here's a clip that's rumored to be real. These kids are in terror. No one can tell me that any kids are that good of actors. And then there's this one that's kind of spooky. The mom has, you listen to that? The mom has some kind of triggered meme sound effect coming out of her mouth. Very strange. There are so many stories of people talking about small creatures stealing their money and food and living near their homes over in Mexico and South America. And it got me to thinking, like, why are there so many stories of these? And why are there so many weird creatures in these history books, just like the Blemmy here, that have been drawn in medieval times? Like, where are they going? Did they go hide somewhere, or why are there so many instances of this going on? And all this has got me thinking, perhaps these creatures were sick of humans killing them, so they sailed away to other lost continents.
Oh my God. Some new definition there.
So the ancients understood asteroids, comets, falling stars, solar eclipses, and lunar eclipses. And only in our modern prophetic world of teaching have we become reassociated with what the ancients understood about these were signs in the heavens indicating something would happen. A lunar eclipse is always connected to the nation of Israel because Israel is on a lunar calendar. The moon became, and the reason God did not let Israel choose the sun is too many pagan nations were sun worshipers. And so God allowed them to use the moon. Now, that's one suggestion by rabbis. But a full solar eclipse is always bad for the nation where it happens over or for the world in general. And many times a solar eclipse, if it is prophetic, is a sign of something big that's going to happen in that nation. Now, the reason everybody's talking, and I'm going to abbreviate this because there's enough information out there for you to research in detail by these other people, is that this eclipse has a crossing pattern to it. And there's a place connected with Egypt. There are places that have names that are connected to ancient names in biblical history. And the big thing that everybody's talking about is it crosses over the New Madrid fault line. Now, the last time something of this nature happened that was noted was in the 1800s when 3 months later, the New Madrid fault line gave way and there was a major earthquake. You could hear bells ringing all the way to Boston by what happened at New Madrid. The mountains in Cleveland, Tennessee, some of them were formed at the time of the New Madrid fault line when it gave way in the 1800s. I found that out recently. Now, John Kilpatrick, a great man of God, and several other men for years have had dreams or visions of the New Madrid fault line giving way. Now, you can study the New Madrid fault line and you can see the great danger to areas like St. Louis, Memphis, Tennessee. In fact, if it actually went off with a very, very high Richter scale earthquake, and it would have to be a 7.5, 8, 8.5, but if that happened, the danger to the United States would be that the railroad bridges connecting part of the West with the East Coast are cut off. The bridges for trucks to deliver food are cut off. And, you know, of course, your major airports, the runways would, so there would be a complete shutting off, a split between the central and western part of the United States and the East Coast of the United States. And the food supply would be diminished within probably, I would say within a few hours, because everybody would panic in trying to get food in the stores. Now, I have in my book, The Vision, I saw an earthquake in St. Louis many, many years ago, and I don't know if it was New Madrid or not. I did maybe bring it out in the book. But I have seen earthquakes. I have seen tsunamis. And so I do believe that after the eclipse, and it may be months, it may be a year, but I believe the eclipse is a great and fearful sign. I believe it's a cosmic sign because of where it's coming to, where it's coming from. And I know some of you want me to spend an hour teaching on this, but there's enough information out there. I'm giving you my commentary on it, that you should always stay prepared. So I teach, we do it personally, but I tell my staff and I tell my friends, it's always good because of hurricanes, earthquakes, tornadoes, whatever could happen in the form of a natural disaster, to have food supplies, a way of preparing those food supplies, and fresh water, because you can't survive without fresh water. You can't go weeks without drinking water. You have to have water. Your next thing is some type of food supplies, non-perishable food, etc. And of course, you have to have some type of shelter, whether it be, especially if it would be in the winter or if it would be in the summer, you have to have some type of shelter from rain and storms and wind and that type of thing. So food, clothing, shelter, and water are the four main things that you have to live. And of course, only time is going to tell, because people say, what do you think is going to happen? I never say, unless the Lord shows me in a vision or dream something that's going to happen, and I know it's from Him, then I'll release it when He tells me to. But I haven't felt anything particular other than I know something big will happen in the United States. And if you watch some of my YouTube videos, I mean, sometimes they try to get my videos to go down because they don't like the information I'm talking about, and I hate that. But if you saw the one where I talked about when I was preaching what would happen if we reverse certain laws that have been passed, we're in serious trouble. And it's just biblical. But the one thing you need to be aware of is you need to get your heart right with God and serve the Lord and trust Him. Get close to friends and family, and have things. If something,
Oh man, are you guys anticipating that event as well?
Another one of those things we've been seeing. Look at that. That's insane.
Oh, what's going on today in the sky, man?
Some wonderful things are happening, and I want to share those experiences with you. I do not sell a product. I bring you information. A few years ago, we were introduced to aloe vera. A man by the name of Dale Robertson, whom I'm sure many of you have seen on television or movies. We were going to go into the cosmetic business. We got sidelined, and we went different directions because of a bank failure. We later received a call that some doctors in Texas was doing some research, and of all things, AIDS. Now let's clear the air, because a lot of times when we hear the word AIDS, right away we want to hear nothing about it. And I can tell you, AIDS simply destroys your God-given defense system against disease, your immune system. So as we got into it, and once learned that it was a virus that attacked the immune system, then it was known by the doctors what they had to do in their research. We produced a videotape that's available, and it's been shown all over the world. In that video, you will see one AIDS patient who had 4 to 21 days to live, as per the medical cartel, his own doctor. In addition to having full-blown AIDS, he had 17 malignant tumors on his liver. I said 17 malignant tumors on his liver, one the size of my fist. We have those CAT scans and x-rays, and they are on the video that we have available to you if you'd like. They told him that he didn't have a chance. Call his priest, call his family, make his funeral arrangements. But somebody said, you know, there's a doctor down here piddling around with some witch's brew called aloe vera, and he's having some fabulous results. You don't have anything to lose because you're going to die anyhow. That was in 1988. The tumor and the cancer, they're gone. Now then, I urge you not to rush out and buy an aloe after I speak today, because at this point in time, there's less than 5 out of some 300 or 400 brands that we have tested that has sufficient amounts of the active ingredients in aloe vera that is needed to stimulate and enhance your own immune system to defend for itself. Now, how did we prove that the active ingredient in aloe vera was working? We harvested cells from healthy donors, and we harvested the cells from AIDS patients, and we contaminated those cells, and they were easily attacked. We then put the subjects on aloe vera, the active ingredient found in aloe vera, 1,000 milligrams per day or more of the active ingredient. We sent them home, and they drank that for 6 days On the 6th day, they returned, and we again harvested their cells and again exposed those cells to the AIDS virus, and not one time could they be attacked. That led us to believe, not only believe, but to know that there was something virucidal in the aloe. Went to a little known university down there in Texas called Texas A&M. If you're rich enough, you can get there. They graduate some of the finest in the world. And then again, it was now established by Carrington Laboratories that AIDS is definitely a virus. Now we've also proved to ourselves it's virucidal with cancer and tumors because of Michael Arrington. We also knew that it was virucidal and effective with Kaposi sarcomas. Went to Texas A&M and took 20 cats. 10 of the cats was given 1/20th the dosage of aloe that you and I would take, or 1/20th of 1,000 milligrams, and waited 6.5 hours after they took it. The 10 cats with aloe, the 10 cats without aloe were all given a flu virus. The 10 cats with aloe, not one of them got sick. The 10 cats without aloe all come down with the flu, was sick for an average of 30 days, one so sick it died. These studies then went to humans, and 100 subjects was selected, and for 1 year, not one of these subjects got a cold.
Oh, that's interesting, man. From this side of the world, people use it to make herbs.
Conspiracy theorists, everything that is going to start coming out is going to make you shit your pants. If you are a conspiracy theorist, you are going to be enraged that people are starting to, oh my God, this is really what's happening. I hope you're ready, because shit is about to start hitting the fan. I hope you're ready for the truth to come out. I hope you're ready to hear about things that you never thought could have even existed. I know it's dark, I know it's twisted and it's heavy, but this is literally what we're here for. Do you realize that, like, this can't go on? There's a lot of stuff coming out about children's TV shows. Yo, that's the tip of it. That's nothing. But it's better for the truth to come out and for people who had no clue to now be made aware of the severity of it. And no, we didn't make this shit up. Conspiracy theorists wish they made this shit up.
Oh man, sometimes we care for one another good at things. Wow, that's fantastic, man. What do you call that stuff? When you take a photo of the sun at the same time every day of the year. This is how it goes down. Oh, and this is the pattern that the sun forms. Look at this, man. The earth does not move allegedly according to this footage. Only the sun does. You see? And now wonderful earthlings. What do you think goes on? Is it the sun or the earth that moves? No. Because there's some crazy phenomenon there. You see? They wonder.
Was too high is because he had a different type of testosterone.
Right.
Testosterone. He had dihydrotestosterone.
That's right.
Okay, that was the difference in the two.
That's right. But he's not going to tell you about it. Doctor's
not
not
going
going
to tell you that.
He don't say you was dihydrotestosterone because he think you scientifically stupid.
Right.
He said just your testosterone too high. Well, they both testosterone, but one of them is an abnormal testosterone.
So dihydrotestosterone is
Right.
an abnormal testosterone.
It's kind of like a man. When a man have a high level of dihydrotestosterone, his hair fall off in the top of his head. He get bald headed. Because his hair, the hair follicles are sensitive to the female hormone. And it takes his hair out on top. He's bald on top of his head. And the doctor, they always say, well, hey, you bald on top of your head, your testosterone is real high.
So that's why all the brothers shaving their head.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is.
They don't know. They think it's his age, but they don't realize. They don't realize the chemical breakdown.
It is. The hair follicles are sensitive to it.
So if you can reverse that, the hair will grow back. Then.
It will. And a woman, if she grows hair on her face, it's because of dihydrotestosterone too high in her. She developed what we call polycystic ovaries. Instead of having 2 ovaries, she has a cluster of ovaries, like a cluster of grapes. That's producing too much estrogen, which converts some to testosterone. And she'll grow facial hair. And that's polycystic ovaries. And you can reverse all of that. God has given us plants with natural plant-based hormone components to do it. What I study allopathic medicine, how to use natural things to replace allopathic drugs. That's how I do it. I study all the medical journals, all the research, and then I study how I can use natural things to accomplish what they're trying to do with allopathic medicine. Okay, I want to thank y'all so much for the opportunity. And
oh, incredible drinks. Thanks for watching up to this far, man. You see that previous guy, whatever you were saying, is interesting and at the same time makes you wonder about a lot of stuff, man. You see? And why do people have to put on wigs and do crazy stuff with their hair, which is not normal? You see? I don't understand. But you see, humans live different in different places of the world. Maybe if it's just for the essence of good vibes, it's nice, man. You see? And lots of love and respect for that.